the city of Medina, 623 CE. 2 years after the Hijra, the Great Migration from Mecca. Here, the Muslim community had built a new life, but barely. They had left everything behind in Mecca: their homes, their wealth, their livelihoods. The Quraysh of Mecca had seized everything when they fled, and now those same Quraysh caravans passed nearby, carrying enormous wealth, caravans of 1,000 camels, laden with silver and gold, the very wealth that had once belonged to the Muslim community. The Prophet watched, and he made a decision. Word came: Abu Sufyan's great caravan, laden with the wealth of the Quraysh, was going to Syria. The Prophet, peace be upon him, called for volunteers. A small force rode hard across the desert. Days of riding, pushing men and animals to their limits. But when they reached the caravan route, nothing, only tracks in the sand. Abu Sufyan had already passed. Abu Sufyan was cunning. He had outpaced them. They turned back, empty-handed, but the chase was not over. The Prophet, peace be upon him, sent 2 trusted companions ahead. Their mission: watch the Syria road. They rode north, alone, into the vast Arabian wilderness. They waited. Days passed, hidden in the rocks above the trade road, watching every caravan that came and went. And then, they saw it. Abu Sufyan's great caravan, 1,000 camels, returning from Syria, laden with the wealth of the Quraysh. They had found it. Now they had to move fast. The spy rode through the night, through the day, without stopping. The news spread through Medina like fire. The Prophet, peace be upon him, called his companions together. He did not command. He asked for volunteers. And one by one, they stepped forward. A merchant, a farmer, a blacksmith, a former slave. 313 souls. But Abu Sufyan was no fool. He had spies of his own. Word reached him. The Muslims were coming. He called his most trusted man and gave the order: change course. Now. The entire caravan, 1,000 camels, turned from the inland road and took the coastal route, hugging the Red Sea shore. And he sent a rider, racing south to Mecca, with one message: send help. The caravan escaped. Abu Sufyan had slipped away again. The messenger arrived in Mecca before dawn. Abu Yahal heard the news, and where other leaders counseled caution, he saw an opportunity. He stood before the leaders of Mecca and declared, "We march to Badr, and we will crush them once and for all. 1,000 warriors, the finest soldiers of Arabia, with horses, armor, and absolute certainty they would win." And Abu Jahl rode at their head, proud, certain, and utterly convinced of victory. The Muslim force was still marching. They expected a caravan, rich merchants and guards, not an army. Then scouts returned, riding hard, and the news they brought changed everything. The caravan was gone, escaped, but 1,000 Quraysh warriors were marching toward them right now. The Prophet, peace be upon him, stopped the march. He asked his companions, again, not a command, a consultation. Every voice mattered. From Medina, 313 men marched southwest, toward the valley of Badr. From Mecca, 1,000 warriors marched north, toward the same valley. And in the middle, the ancient wells of Badr. Two armies, one valley, one night between them in history. That night, both armies made camp within sight of each other, one night away from everything. That night, as the Quraysh feasted and boasted, the Muslim camp was completely silent. The Prophet, peace be upon him, spent the entire night in prayer, his hands raised, his voice quiet. O Allah, If this small group perishes today, you will not be worshipped on this earth." Some companions wept when they heard those words. They had given up everything, and tomorrow, everything would be decided. He prayed through the entire night, and when dawn came, he rose. And they were ready. At the first light of dawn on the 17th of Ramadan, the two armies stood face to face. On one side, 313 believers, many of whom had never fought a battle before. On the other, 1,000 of Arabia's finest. And between them, a strip of desert, and the silence of 2,000 men holding their breath. And not one of the 313 took a step back. Three Quraysh champions stepped forward, calling out for worthy opponents. Their names were famous across Arabia. Three companions stepped forward to meet them, calm, certain. All three Quraysh champions fell before the main battle had even begun. Then the Prophet, peace be upon him, gave the command. He threw a handful of sand toward the enemy, saying, "May their faces be shamed." And the Muslims charged.
For glory! Charge! Attack! Forward! No retreat! Victory!
The valley shook. But on the Quraysh side, the ground turned to mud. Their horses slipped, their formation crumbled. It was as if the sky itself had taken a side. The Quraysh broke.
Run! To the rear! Disorder! Retreat!
Warriors who had never retreated turned and ran. Abu Jahl himself, who had sworn to destroy the Muslims, fell in the valley of Badr. 70 of their leaders killed, 70 more captured. The Battle of Badr was over. As the sun set over the valley of Badr, the companions rested. Some of them had never held a sword before that day. They gave thanks, quietly, without grandeur. 313 men, who had left Medina expecting a caravan and had changed the course of history. The Battle of Badr, fought on the 17th of Ramadan, 2 AH, the 13th of March, 624 CE, 313 against 1,000, a battle won not by numbers, not by weapons, but by certainty of purpose. The companions who fought at Badr are honored across 14 centuries of Islamic history. Their names are known, their sacrifice is remembered, and their story will never die.